In this second tutorial, we are going to model the holder component for the tablet stand. This is the component, and I'm going to talk you through each step to be able to model this component. Okay, so let's get started. Close that. So first of all, you need to make sure that you've set your working directory to the folder that has all your tablet stand working. So this is going to be mine. And then we're going to go to new, and then we're going to call this part holder. I'm going to call it holder 1 because I've modeled it before. And your modeling environment will open up. Okay, we're going to model from the top plane, so you can choose that here in the model tree, or you can click on it in the modeling environment, and we're going to choose sketch. Okay, what we're going to do here first, we're going to go to the line tool, and I want you to left click on the center horizontal and come across over the vertical and click again, and then use the mouse wheel, the scroll wheel, to disconnect. We're going to dimension the length of that line, and we're going to dimension the length of that line at 100 millimeters. So we're going to go in here, double click 100 millimeters. Now we want that line to be in the middle of the environment, so we have another measurement here which gives the distance from the center to the end of the line. So if we make this half of 100, this should move the line centrally into the environment. Okay. The next step is we are going to create a line using the line tool from one side up and disconnect, and we're going to dimension that line at 30 millimeters. Oh, not for 30 millimeters. Okay, and then we're going to go from that line, and we're going to go down to the left. We'll click there, and we're going to dimension that line at 100. Then we're going to go again from that line. We're going to go down and disconnect, and we're going to dimension that at 5 millimeters. And then we're going to go from there, and we're going to go up and disconnect, and we're going to set that at 95 millimeters. And then we're going to use the line tool again. We're going to connect to that and come down to this line that we originally started with and disconnect. Okay, I'm going to center that. Now what I'm going to do is use the delete segment tool, and we're going to delete the original line that we drew. So we've deleted this one and this one. And we can actually delete this part too. Okay, so we have half the drawing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to choose center line, which you will find here. We're going to click on that, and we're going to select the horizontal. Going to left click once and then left click again on it, and that sets the horizontal line as our center line. Now using the select tool, we can select the entire drawing that we've done. We're going to choose mirror, and then we just click on the center line, and it will mirror that entire drawing over. Okay, so now just to check, the total width should be 60, which it is. Okay, I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tick OK. and we're going to come across to Extrude. I'm going to hold the scroll wheel down and rotate it. Now that's come out 80 millimeters, and you can see the extrude is coming out from the sketch one side. I want it to come out both sides, so I'm going to go to the depth, click on depth and go to symmetric, and then I'm going to set the depth, the extrude, to 10 millimeters. And I'm going to tick OK. Okay, that is the first part of the drawing. Now I'm going to choose this side of that part. I'm going to select it and I want to draw a sketch on there. So I'm going to sketch onto there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the reference tool, and I'm going to reference the top line and the center line, and then I'm going to tick, and then I'm going to close that. These will help me assign lines and circles in specific places. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start with a line. I'm drawing the hook part, so that's why the reference line was done. So this highlights, I'm going to click and draw up and disconnect. Oh, I'll start again. I'm going to click and draw up and then disconnect. And I'm going to set that measurement. And I'm going to set that measurement at 18 millimeters. I'm also going to set the distance from here to here by clicking, using a dimension tool, left click the line, left click the end of the component, and then press the scroll wheel. I'll do that again. There, there, there. And I want the distance to be 10 millimeters. Okay. Right, I'm going to use the line tool again. I'm going to come up and I'm going to go from the top of that. And I'm going to draw a line and disconnect. I'm going to set that distance at 8 millimeters. I'm going to use the line again, and I'm going to start from the end and come down, disconnect, and I'm going to set that distance at 3 millimeters. I'm now going to use the line again. I'm going to come down, disconnect, and I'm going to set that also at 3 millimeters. No, I'm not. I'm going to set that at 5 millimeters. Sorry, my mistake. 5 millimeters. And then I'm going to draw a line from that point down to the end. And then while still connected, I'm going to come back and join. And then I'm still connected. I use the scroll wheel to disconnect. I'm going to tick OK. I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to press extrude. So it's extruded towards me. I actually want to go away from me, so I'm going to push that by left clicking on this component, push it through, and it's going to go across the other side. And the distance I'm going to set that is 5 millimeters. And then I'm going to tick OK. Now I'm going to click on the extrude, or select the extrude. I'm going in the model tree. I can see it's selected. Okay, you can disconnect, deselect, select extrude to, and then come across to mirror, and then select the front plane, which is in the middle of your model. Okay, it's this one here, and that will mirror over the component we've just done. This saves us having to draw it twice. and then I'm going to tick OK. Okay, right. Just going to centralize that. Okay, we're going to choose the side surface again, and we're going to sketch on there again. So I'm going to select that and then choose sketch. Now I'm going to reference some lines again. So I'm going to use the reference tool, references. I'm going to select this middle one, this top one, this one here, which is part of the hook we've just drawn, and the very end of the model. Okay, and then I'm going to close that. These reference points will make it very easy for me now to draw the next sketch. So I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to start here in this corner where there are two reference lines meet. I'm going to click once and come all the way along to the very end, and it will snap to that end. I'm going to click down and it will snap to the middle. I'm going to click, bring all the way along back to here, and it will snap to this reference line, and then back up to the top, and then disconnect. I'm now going to tick OK, and I'm going to rotate the sketch or the model, and then I'm going to press extrude. Now you can see it's come out towards me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click it, drag it, and push it all the way back across. And when I go back through the model, it starts to remove material. If yours doesn't, you can go up to the top in settings, and which is here, and you click this button and it will remove material. And we want to go across the model 60 millimeters, and that will remove all material that was in the way there to the other side. And then I'm going to tick OK. Right, it's starting to get to resemble the component. We've got a few more steps and then we're there. So now I'm going to sketch on this surface again. So I'm going to click on this surface and I'm going to choose sketch. And again, I'm going to choose some references. So I'm going to use the references again. I'm going to use this upright. I'm going to use the end of the model. I'm going to use this center line. And I think that's it. Okay, and then close. Okay, so now I'm going to use the circle tool. I'm going to click down and choose center and point. Now I'm going to come in between here, but I want that top line. That's where I'm going to start my circle. So I'm going to click and drag out a small circle. I'm going to scroll in and I'm going to use the dimension tool. And I'm going to set the radius or the diameter of that to 8 millimeters. So I'm going to make that 8. And what I'm going to do now is dimension the distance. I want the distance from the very end to be 40 millimeters. So I'm going to choose the dimension tool. I'm going to click on the center of the circle and the end of the model, and then use the scroll wheel. And that I'm going to set at 40 millimeters. Just going to move that over, and then I'm going to tick OK. I'm now going to come across to the extrude, the last part of the model tree. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go up to the mirror tool in the editing menu. I'm going to choose mirror, and then I'm going to choose that front plane again and click it, and that will then put the same feature over on the other side of the model. Okay, so now that we have mirrored that feature, we're going to choose this side again, this surface. Going to choose that and go to sketch. We're going to scroll in on this section here. And again, we're going to draw another circle using the center and point tool. We're going to click on the center circle. So this should snap to that. Left click to start. Drag out a circle. We're going to dimension that circle at a diameter of 5 millimeters. And then we're going to tick OK. We're going to come across to extrude and then just rotate, and you will see that extrusion has come out towards us. And we're going to push it back in to remove material all the way across. Make sure remove material has been turned on, and we're going to set that at 60 millimeters. And then we're going to tick OK. Okay, I'm now going to use the round tool, and I'm going to choose this edge, and I'm going to put a radius of 5 on there, and also on the bottom edge here, and do it also on the other side, and then I'm going to tick OK. Now we're going to choose this surface again. Going to choose sketch, and we're going to use the reference tool again. We're going to use reference of the edge of the circle. This shows us where the center is. And now I'm going to use the center and point tool again. I can now click on the middle because I've referenced it, and I'm going to draw out a circle. And I'm going to match the circle earlier. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to set the dimension of that to 5 millimeters in diameter. Okay, and then I'm going to tick OK. I'm going to extrude, and as you can see, it's come out towards me. And I want to push it all the way back in and across the other side, making sure remove material is turned on and making that 60 millimeters. And I'm going to tick OK. Okay, we're getting there now. Right, so I'm going to add lots of rounds now to give it its final shape. We're going to round in this corner here and down here. So I'm going to choose the round tool. I'm going to find the vertical in here, and I'm going to set that round at 10 millimeters and press enter. I'm going to rotate it round, find the other side and make that 10, and then I'm going to tick OK. I'm going to turn the model around. I'm going to do these ends as well. I'm going to choose the round tool again, but I'm now going to set these at 15 millimeters because there's a 5 millimeter gap between them. 15, and tick OK. So that's an even bend around the outside. Okay, I'm now going to choose the round tool again, and I'm going to round this edge here, and I'm going to set that at a radius of 5, around at 5. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come across and do the other side. Tick OK. I'm going to rotate round, and I'm going to radius this edge here now. So I'm going to choose round again, and I'm going to choose that line, and I'm going to make that a 5. Yep, that should be 5, so it will come up 5 and 5 here. Okay, I've just noticed a problem with this extrude is slightly too long. it should only be 5mm. So I can go and find that. It's there. So the original extrude, I'm going to edit that. Edit that. And that should have been 5. And okay that. And that should all redraw. Okay, so you can see you can edit your model at any point. Right, next step. I am going to add some rounds to this part. This part is going to be a radius of 2, so I'm going to put the round tool on again. I'm going to set it at 2mm, and I'm going to come to each side of the circle, cylinder. By adding the rounds, you're also increasing strength, so it won't snap when it's been 3D printed. Adding a bit more material into these areas. Okay, tick OK there. I'm now going to add some dimensions in here. So we're going to start with the radius round tool again, set at 2mm. I'm going to come into the top of that one and the bottom. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm then going to go in underneath and do that part and that part. And then I'm going to tick OK. I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to choose the tool again, round tool. Each time it creates a new instruction in the model tree. I'm now going to do this edge. I'm going to make this 5mm, so I'll set that at 5. And I'm going to come across and set that at 5. That's 5mm. I think I've now completed all of the rounds around that part. Okay, I'm going to tick OK. And I've got 2 more to do now. What I'm going to do now is apply a final radius around this edge. So we're going to set this at a simple radius of 1.45, quite a small radius. And then I'm going to find this edge. So I'm going to scroll in. And that should send that around the model. If I carry on, if it doesn't quite do it straight away, you have to continue around the model. And I'm going to now go on the inside of the model too, find the edge. So I'm looking for that edge. So it's now calculating that, but I need to find the inside as well. There we go. And now I've modelled all the parts. I'm going to tick OK. Now what I haven't done during this is I did not save it while I was modelling. So it's really important you do that on a regular basis when the model is grey. So I'm going to do save. When it comes up, you don't need to type anything in. Press OK. And we've completed the holder section of the tablet stand. Now the final model, the final tutorial you can find in the same playlist, which is the arm.